Now it is my privilege to welcome the moderator of our second panel. Maria Cardona is a respected political strategist and public affairs leader with more than 2 decades of experience at the intersection of government, communications, and community engagement. She is a principal at the Dewey Square Group and founder of Latinovations, the firm's Latino strategies practice. Maria currently serves as a political commentator for CNN and CNN Español, and previously hosted the Maria Show on El Rey Network. Her career includes senior leadership roles within the Democratic Party, including communications director of the Democratic National Committee and senior advisor and spokesperson for Hillary Clinton's 2008 presidential campaign. She also served as a national surrogate for the Obama campaigns in 2008 and 2012, and as an informal advisor to the Biden campaign in 2020. Throughout her work, Maria has championed issues impacting Latino communities, including immigration, voting rights, healthcare, and economic equity, bringing a powerful perspective to conversations about power, capital, influence, and long-term impact. Please join me in welcoming Maria Cardona.
Muchas gracias. Buenos días. Good morning, everyone. It is such a pleasure to be here with you today. Thank you, Ella. Thank you, Heidi, for this amazing invitation to be with an incredible group of powerful Latinas. You all need to give yourselves a round of applause. And let's give a round of applause to our last panel of incredible Latinas and the amazing conversation and important conversation about AI. So thank you all for that. I'm very excited to present this upcoming panel because it is also an incredibly important topic that we're going to be talking about in terms of Latina leadership, sustainability, and making sure that we are in the spaces where decision-making happens. We have to be in those rooms. But at the same time, because Latinas and women in general, but Latinas specifically, I believe, have so many other responsibilities in our communities, in our families, sometimes that leadership that we are willing to take on, want to take on, is not sustainable if we don't do it in the right way, or if we don't have the support from community leaders, financial institutions, business leaders that we need and deserve. So this is a conversation that needs to happen, that should have been happening all along, but I'm really proud of Ella that they are making it happen. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce my amazing panelists to start the conversation. So Rosita Romero, if you could come join us. Round of applause. Dr. Patricia Campos-Medina, please join us. And Maria Rios, please come and join us as well. Such a distinguished panel. I'm going to have these ladies introduce themselves. They have an amazing bio that I'm not going to go into. I will let them share what they want to share in terms of their experience. And then we'll get into this really important conversation about how women can not only get to the decision-making positions that we deserve, but how can we stay in them in a sustainable way that makes sure that we are taking care of ourselves, taking care of our families, taking care of our communities. Like I said, there is a lot on our shoulders, and we need to make sure that we take everything that we have, all of the responsibilities, but we want to make sure that we do it in a sustainable way. So I'm going to start with you. So why don't you introduce yourself, and then just very briefly talk about the importance of why you think this conversation needs to happen.
Yes. Again, my name is Rosita Romero. I am a co-founder and executive director emeritus of the Dominican Women's Development Center. I also just recently, in December, received an Emeritus Honoris Causa doctorate from la Universidad Instituto Socrático Americano, and Korean Latinx. I have dedicated my lifetime to the creation of this very strong organization, and also to being a community activist. I'm now in the process of passing the baton of my organization, creating new leadership, and dedicating my life to strategy, leading and creating the next generation. It is very important for us to sustain the work we do by taking care of ourselves. Yes. Personal wellness is one of the most important things. If we do not take care of ourselves, we are going to be depleted, we're going to burn out, and I will be talking a little bit more about that later. Thank you.
Buenos días a todos. ¿Cómo se sienten? Más energía, por favor. ¿Dónde están las latinas? ¿Dónde están las líderes? My name is Dr. Patricia Campos-Medina, and I'm high-level executive manager, leader in higher education. I am also a community advocate and someone who leads transformational change for social justice organizations in government. I have a PhD in political science, but I consider myself a social movement expert and an organizational expert and leadership development expert. Because my passion is to lead economic development policies that center on workers and economic mobility for working people, and developing policies that drive economic growth for communities of color. And women are at the center of that leadership. That is why I'm also a political scientist, because I totally believe that working people who are in need of investment in our talent, we have talent, we need opportunity, that the government plays a role in creating opportunity for women and for people. And therefore we need politics that work for working people, and that's what I engage in the political process, and I'm happy to say that I have the honor of being the president of Latina Civic Action, which we train, develop, and support Latina women to run for political office, because we need more of us at the table.
Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. First and foremost, I just want to thank Heidi for this phenomenal invitation. Please give yourself a round of applause. Thank you. My name is Maria Rios. I am the president and CEO for Nation Waste. Nation Waste is a waste management company. I'm the first woman in the waste management industry that broke the barrier in a male-dominated industry in America. The company is headquarters in Houston, Texas, but we have 5 divisions, from waste management to waste to energy and AI throughout the world. I have the privilege to have founded this company from a business plan. I started in the University of Houston, and with a business plan I took my business to from the millions and making it global. I have a great privilege to have been supported, I guess, and to have that potential to build something from nothing, and not knowing what I was getting into. I opened so many barriers, I broke barriers, being in the waste management industry is not an easy thing. And one of my slogans is, when I see trash, I see opportunity. So I think it's important for me to share that. I have been given so many great opportunities throughout my time in business. I have created many opportunities in different divisions throughout the time, and I have been privileged to have been recognized not only in the United States but all over the world, literally all over the world, for what I have done. And being a Latina in that industry and breaking the barrier, that is something that is managed by men, and I have the privilege to feel that I can not only break the barrier, but also show others that if I did it, they can do it too.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So it's such an important topic to talk about because women and Latinas are going into decision-making positions faster than ever. But at the same time, the economy of it all, the possibility, the sustainability of it all remains very uneven for many reasons. So, Rosita, let me start with you because I think taking care of one's well-being, I think, is one of the most challenging things, especially for us Latinas, because, like I said at the beginning, we feel like we have so many avenues of responsibility on our shoulders. Our children, our spouses, our elderly parents, the community, people we take care of. How can we approach making sure that we continue to respond to what we know is the need for us in these decision-making places, feed our ambition, because I think we are ambitious and it's okay and that's a good thing, but at the same time take care of ourselves, making sure that we're not burning the candle at both ends, that we're not, cayéndonos of exhaustion. How do we do that?
Many of us todavía tenemos el complejo de la mujer equipo. That we have to do it all and for everybody, and many more demands are placed on us as Latinas. We are taught to take care of our children first, and everybody else is a community. Even when we are in positions of leadership, as women, more is expected of us. They say that it takes twice the amount of work for women to get half of the recognition that men do. In terms of how do we prevent that depletion or burnout, it has to be through personal care, wellness. I personally have always tried to have a healthy balance between work, family, and personal commitment. For instance, since I was 12 years old, I started taking time to exercise, to eat well. It is very important for us to practice some sort of spirituality, whatever that means. That gives you strength, that sustains you, that allows you to renew. I practice Reiki, for instance. I meditate very often. I've been practicing a lot of exercises, whether it is yoga, Pilates, running. Right now, I started, when I was 59 years old, I started running, and I have run 2 New York City marathons. 26.5 and about 15 and a half marathons, 13 miles. Running has become a passion for me and a goal of me taking care of myself. But it's not only we taking care of ourselves, it's also being part of wellness communities. Being connected with women who are also in leadership and trying to get support to one another, to be able to lead with balance, compassion, and to sustain the work that we do on a long-term basis, where we don't need burnout.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you and congratulations. That's very impressive. Patricia, I want to talk to you a little bit about the power that women carry in decision-making rooms. You have been in those. But has the economic power, has that decision-making power truly shifted for women? And what else do we need to do to make sure that it really does?
So I will start by saying that in order for all of us to change the narrative about what is economic power and what is political power, we also need to understand what power is, and who has it, and how you get it. And when I mean you, not as an individual, but you as a representative of a community, right? So that means not just that you have to be the best at what you do, but you also, that as you enter rooms of power or position, or are you given that opportunity or that privilege to come into a room where decisions are being made, that you bring other people like you along the way. Because you cannot be the only one in the room thinking that you have the power when you are not building other women up, or you're not bringing other communities of color up. And I think that that is what will get us to shift the narrative. Because if we do not support each other, if we do not say, okay, I am now in charge of this organization, I'm now in charge of this company, I am now in charge of this law firm, if you don't look around and you don't see, you see yourself and maybe one other Latina, and you don't figure out how you're going to give opportunities to other people, then you're not shifting the balance of power in that way. Right?
Yeah.
So I think that that's essential for us to think of ourselves as opening, when you get a door open, that your job is to open it down well for them. And we cannot be, some people don't do it because they feel, oh, if I do that, then I won't be the one with the power. Not realizing that as you bring other people along, your power and influence grows. And then you have to understand that influence is not the same as power.
Right.
Right? So I have a lot of influence with a lot of people. Can I make them do what I want them to do for my people? I have to have a lot of people.
Most of the time,
organized.
yes, you can.
Yeah, because I'm a social movement person.
Right.
I think of myself as bringing people along. And I think that whether it's business, whether it's in the non-profit world, whether it's in politics, you have to fight for spaces where you are not the only one in charge. Because then you don't have power.
Right. Thank you. Yes. Maria, I want to talk to you about women and economic independence. Because let's be honest, the more economic independence a woman has, the more sustainable it is that she's able to really operate in these positions of power, in these rooms of power. So how does economic independence change how a woman leads?
Absolutely, that's a very good question. Economic independence, when we have a business that is well run and is generating equity, you make smart decisions with smart decisions right away, not by impact of the economy, so you feel more secure. And I think it's so important to build that impact, not only, like you said earlier, embracing and putting other people to do what you do, teach others. That way you don't have to feel yourself, like you're the only one in the room. So make that sit at the table, maybe on the table, and so the economy is more sustainable and building, that security is important, not only just for what you do for the company, but also what you can do for the community.
That's great. Thank you so much. I want to come back to you, Rosita, because this issue of self-maintenance, self-care, is still a big challenge for Latinas. And so again, congratulations on your running routine. That is very impressive. But many women, especially if they are at the height of their careers, they wake up at 5 in the morning, they don't go to bed until midnight. How do they find the time to do the self-care? How do they find the inspiration? Are there apps? Are there programs? Are there websites that you would recommend for women to help them, push them into understanding that this is a priority, such as any of the other priorities that they have in their days?
You have to make the time. And what can lead us to understand better than necessity is if we understand that if we make the time to take care of ourselves, we are going to be more effective.
Yes, yes.
1,000 times more effective, because you're gonna have mental clarity. You're gonna have that contributes to balance, mental health. You're gonna be a better mom, a better boss, because you're gonna be nourishing yourself. They say you cannot give what you don't have. So if you are healthy and in good care, then you can take care of your family, you can take care of your business, you can take care of your community, but it begins with that. And sometimes we don't have to think that we have to sweat in the gym for 2 hours. No, 10 minutes a day can start it. Movement at any time. Walking, taking the stairs, parking 3 blocks before where you're going. It's just, and also the nutrition, practicing healthy lifestyle, the nutrition, eating a small quantity, eating plenty of fruits and vegetables, eating things that nourish your body. No junk food, please, no processed foods, none of those things that rob you from your energy. And so, in terms of a community, I recommend the one that I'm part of. It's called BIA Healthier Club, led by Beatriz Weschler, a great coach and leader who is a very highly achieving professional in the world of nonprofits and government, and she is an inspiration. When you take that time, whether it's in the morning, in the middle of the day, or at night, to have some movement, to do some self-care, you are going to find yourself being a lot more productive. You're going to lead a healthier life. You're going to be able to sleep better. Get some rest. Women, please, make sure we are so busy all the time, but rest is how you recharge. We need to take time to take care of all those things. I want to take more time.
Thank you. Patricia, you talked about being an influencer, being a change maker through leading movements. But tell us the secret that you use when you go into rooms. How do you whisper into those ears that you want to influence? What do you say? What do you use? What is the hook to convince them that they need to listen to you?
Oh my God, that is the secret sauce. I always see myself as a facilitator of knowledge, and a facilitator of information, and someone who brings people along. So I am an educator by nature. I'm at Cornell University, and we do labor education for adults and professionals. And I believe that the best communicators of policy change or transformation are people themselves. So when I go into a room, and I think my hermanas from Latina Civic Action will know, is that I don't talk just about myself. I talk about the experiences of women around. I talk about the experiences of people leading businesses, or women leading labor unions, or women leading nonprofits, or I bring them along to tell the story. What Access gives me is the opportunity to call a governor's office, to call a congressional office, and say, hey, this is an issue that you should really learn more about it. And I can bring you the people that know about it for you to understand the problem. So I think if you do that, then it's not just me talking, it's the community speaking, and it's us speaking. And it's important because that's a different approach to power. And I think we women have a different approach to change making, whether you're in business, in corporate America, in the profit sector. We want to bring other people's experiences along. And that's the difference where women are at the table, in policy making, in government, and in politics. And that is why we need to do more to develop women, young women, to run for office, to step up to be in government and boards and commissions. We do have a Latina Civic Action. We have an AIA Academy. You know, we didn't partner with AIA here, but it's called AIA Elections, Leadership, and Latina Action Academy with the Center for American Women in Politics. That session is coming up at the end of the month. Please go to the CAP website if you want to learn about how to do public service. Please sign up and spend 2 days with us at the Ready to Grow program. So you learn the process about how you step up into leadership in public service. I also want to say that we talk a lot about our own self-care. How you need to take time off, you need to pick the right food, you need to walk. You know, I do yoga and I walk my dog, that's my self-care. But there's a lot of women that don't have the luxury to do that because our economy doesn't allow them to do that. They don't have, you know, we are one of the most developed countries in the world that still doesn't have paid family leave, that still doesn't have full sick pay leave. So we as women, working women, Latinas, are at the lowest level of economic mobility. So we have a lot of work to do to make sure that our Latina women actually can make choices that are good for them. So fighting for paid family leave policies, fighting for an increase in the minimum wage, fighting for investment in loans that are low cost so more women can develop their own business because Latinas are being entrepreneurs. All that is part of public policy making. That's a structural change that needs to happen. And it won't happen if women are not the one leading public policy. So that's what I know that we need to be able to be leading public policy. And finally, I want to say that we're very hard on ourselves.
Yes.
We Latinas are always feeling the burden of generations of our mothers who have been working so hard to give me this opportunity, right? You have that imposter syndrome, like, am I doing enough? Am I a good mother? Am I a good... And when you get that imposter syndrome, I have a trick because I get it. You know, I'm leading big grants and leading big development opportunities. And I get the imposter syndrome because I don't just work, you know. So when that imposter syndrome comes, I'm going to give you a trick. Go to a quiet space, close your eyes, and think of yourself when you were 7 years old. Think about yourself when you were 7 years old. And what were you dreaming you will be at 7 years old? Then that 7-year-old girl, and I know what I was in a tiny town in El Salvador at 7 years old. That girl has come a long way. And you have to hug that girl for 7 years old and say, you are doing a great job.
Yes. Thank you, Patricia. This leads me to my last question for you, Maria, which is, there are a lot of sacrifices that we need to make as Latinas. What sacrifices aren't talked about enough when women have to scale multi-million-dollar businesses to make sure that, again, we are in all of the spaces where we know that we belong, but it takes a lot. What aren't we talking about?
Well, that's a very good question. Normally, we always talking about all the success and everything, the awards and the beautiful things. But what we don't talk about is the sacrifice that we go through, all the things that we have to give up. Sometimes we are the only ones in the room, and we're not talking about that. But most important is about finding yourself. That's the way I feel that I was able to accomplish or maybe to get out of that comfort zone, because we don't speak ourselves, we don't tell nobody. Sometimes we're afraid even to tell somebody what's going on with our businesses, and we just don't, because we're afraid.
Right.
And that's what we don't speak about. We don't talk about that because many times you feel about people are going to say you're failing, so we don't speak about that. So it's important. It's so important to find a passion, things that you like to do, and I feel accomplished. I feel that I have come out of that room and I feel that I listen to other women out there. I feel like a mentor sometimes. It's so important many times when you're not speaking to nobody to find someone to speak about what you're doing, because many times you just don't know that they may be going through what you're going through as well.
Yeah.
So we don't speak about those things, but it's important to do so, and that makes you feel better. And for me, building a multi-million-dollar company from scratch, myself, in a male-dominated industry, it hasn't been easy.
I'm sure.
And let me tell you, I have great privilege to have been not only been recognized, but being appointed by the National Women Business Council to represent women across the 50 states in Puerto Rico. That is one of my greatest accomplishments.
Thank you. We're coming upon the end of this amazing panel. I do want to give an opportunity for quick audience questions. We have a couple of minutes. If anyone has any question, please raise their hand. I think we have one back here. Yes, ma'am.
I know that we are in the midst of a great wealth transfer of over $124 million from older generations to the younger generations, and a large portion of that is going to knowing that how you would like women to be more I talk about nonprofit lens in the background. So we're using that information to know how to grow our nonprofit. How do you take that information and help the entrepreneurs that are looking to invest?
And how do we do it well as entrepreneurs or as the older generation? And how do we invest in our own nonprofits and in other businesses? So to me, our older generation, our parents, right, they focus a lot on education as a way to give us opportunity to be successful. Now that we are successful and you're building your business, think about building your business on a way that you're going to grow the wealth for your family. And that's how I think of it as a professional and a first-generation college student. My husband was a first-generation college student and built a multi-million-dollar civil engineering firm, #1 in New Jersey, Hispanic-owned, #5 in the country, Hispanic-owned firm. So he did that through a lot of work, and now the way he's, so that is sort of wealth that's transferred to my sons who are first generation now. But now he's giving back into philanthropy, right? Like one of the things that Latinos we do well is that we help a lot of causes.
Yeah.
But we don't think of our wealth as philanthropy. Like what are we building?
Right.
And how we're giving it back to nonprofits to create a base of support for working people. That's what philanthropy is supposed to be in a nonprofit world. So giving back to philanthropy is essential. Now, if you are a first generation and you have a little bit of stability, because wealth takes many generations, right? But if you have a little bit of economic stability, you also need to get into places of power where you create opportunity for others, and get into policy positions in which you bring back wealth from the government and our taxes to our community. In New Jersey, with billions of dollars of investment, Latino entrepreneurs only get 1% of contracts from the state and the government. You as entrepreneurs need to do more to demand more public investment in your businesses, in your entrepreneurship. And that cannot be done one-on-one, it has to be done organized. All the chambers of commerce need to be organized, demanding more investments in capital. Because the way she grew her company, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, is that you had a drive, you're an entrepreneur, you solve problems. But to create 20 entrepreneurs like you, we need a lot more capital from the government to be invested. And I think that we have to have that vision. I want more stories like you. I want more Latino entrepreneurs, because that's the way we're going to build wealth for the next generation.
Thank you. Okay, I think we have come upon our time. I just want to say, to wrap up this amazing panel, one of the things that we all have to understand, especially as Latinas, is that our voice matters. Our voice is what is going to make the difference, is what I'm hearing from these three amazing professionals who have lived it and have gone through it and have made their voices heard. But many times, to your point, Patricia, you do have that voice in your head, do I belong here? Do I really matter? Are people going to listen to me? Well, I think we are all here to say, carajo que sí. So thank you all. A big applause for these amazing panelists. Muchas gracias.